All right, so let's get started today. We're going to be doing Pastrika again, but today's intention is to go into the state of what's called Shunya. It's the fourth layer deep. It is one way of, I've heard it explained, it is Shiva energy, which is consciousness, Chit consciousness, without Shakti. Shakti is Ananda, which is the bliss. Ananda, it corresponds with fullness, okay, fullness of all there is. And we had already discussed that conversation. But let's say this Chit, this place of Chit energy at the core of us is Shiva and Shakti in perfect harmony. It is both the fullness and the emptiness completely in balance with one another. Now, that's ultimately the goal of what we want to get to, is the experience of taking in all there is and the vacuum of nothing, period. It's hard to, of course, put into words exactly what that is, but we know that all of life exists in duality, in perfect balance. And part of the meditation practice is to embrace that spectrum of opposites rather than to reject it. And so much of our pain and suffering, emotionally speaking, I use the word suffering loosely. I don't use it, like physical suffering, but it's suffering the way that the yogis use it, mentally speaking, meaning that we are held back by our own belief systems. We are diminished emotionally because of the way that we view the world, our perspective. Our perspective is limited, and therefore our experience is limited. So what yoga is trying to teach us is to, or at least the tantric lineage, is to open our mind, our perspective, to something much bigger. That is, to see what is, period. To experience all that is. Now, part of all that is, and we focus so far on fullness, the other balancing side of that is emptiness. Now, a lot of people, when they hear the word emptiness, would get a negative connotation. But could you imagine this idea of emptiness being without all of the nonsense in our head, without the extraneous thoughts? It's a place of stillness, a place of quiet, a place of serenity, a place of calm. Okay, so this shunya, the void, is the second deepest layer in our experience of the layers of our being. And it is quite a delicious place to go to. It can be dangerous once you go there because it could be addicting to live there. You might want to avoid the void. You might want to sit in the void and avoid the outside world. Now, that's not the path of the tantrika. The tantric yogi is aiming to go to this place of the void and then go beyond into all there is, and use it as a way to empty out the trash of the mind, okay? And then come back into the world from a place that is more centered, is a good word. So coming back into the world from a place that is more centered, not avoiding the challenges and the obstacles of everyday life, not avoiding the chores and the responsibilities, but rather from that place of being more centered, going back into the world and approaching all of these activities of the outside world with a sense of serenity, calm, blissful joy. Okay, so this is called the path of Viveka, which is the path towards conscious, compassionate living. That's kind of the way that I would explain it, okay? Conscious, compassionate living. And that path is to go inward towards that state of samadhi, oneness, which we're going today to the shunya, the void, the nothingness, the experience of letting go of all things and just being. It's like, the best analogy I could give you is, if you think of a storm on a map, it's got this swirling energy around it. And right at the eye of the storm is the nothingness, okay? So Chit, this idea of the core of our being, is the storm, the totality, both the emptiness and the fullness. Whereas the void, shunya, is just the center. So it is the storm without the motion, without the momentum, without the unfolding of potential, so without manifestation. It is just the vacuum, okay? To go there can be very therapeutic because it allows us to empty out what is no longer serving us. So we go to the void to empty out what is no longer serving us so that we can fill ourselves up with what does, okay? That is our adventure for today. To go to the void, we'll be using a different mantra today. And this is the mantra that has been passed down to me and now to you. And this is an important mantra to me in my life because it was provided to me by a teacher that has, I would say, was most powerful. Her name is Rudrani, and has passed on from her guru and his guru beyond that. So this is a lineage mantra. Om Namah Shivaya is the mantra. Okay. Again, Om, that's the sound or the vibration of all that is. Namah Shivaya. Think about this as a call to the energy that is consciousness, but the vacuum of it, the stillness within. Let's use the word stillness today, okay? To convey that peaceful serenity, the eye of the storm. All right, let's get into our practice, and thank you everyone for being here, and so happy to be sharing this immersion with you. Let's get started, and then we can discuss a little bit more later. Hello, Maria. I'm glad you found out how to chat here. Wonderful. Nice to have you here. Come to all fours, hands and knees. Let's take a breath in. Exhale and round the back. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch, and look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch, and look up. Exhale, child's pose. All fours, hands and knees. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, forward, all fours, tuck toes. Exhale, child's. Inhale, all fours. And this time, lean forward, bend the elbows, lower down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, release. Let's do heart and hands. Inhale. Exhale. Heart, feet, hands. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Let's enjoy a full breath in together. Exhale it out. Right leg to the sky on the inhale. Bend knee, open up hip. Hold here for an enjoyable breath into the right side of the body. Straighten the leg, inhale, square the hip. Step right foot forward. High up on the fingertips, take a breath in. And let's pay attention to the back leg today a little bit. So pull your feet toward each other, inhale, lift the hips up. Now spiral the back thigh bone in until the weight's more in the second toe instead of the big toe. Okay, so spin the thigh bone inward in the back leg. Most of you might already be there, and that's normal for you. But I'd like you to think about the thigh, a little extra attention to turning the thigh bone in so the inner thigh bone lifts up. Okay, the front of the thigh squeezes in. Now, keeping that, take a full breath and round your upper back. Get light on the fingers. Exhale. Now, like a turtle coming out of its shell, head to the front of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. And bend the knee, open up the hip. Full breath in. And out. Straighten the leg, inhale, square the hip. And step forward. High up on the fingertips, we take a breath in. And out. Pull your feet toward one another, letting the hips lift up and spiral the back thigh bone in. So think front of the thigh rotates inward towards the midline of the body. Keeping that, firm up the back quads, lift the back inner leg to the sky. Get lighter in the fingers by pressing the front heel down. And now lengthen through the top of the head. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground, down dog. Forward to plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga, knees down, lower. Heart up first, inhale, shoulder blades together. Exhale. Inhale, heart and hands. Exhale. Heart, hands, feet. Inhale. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Lead with your tailbone up, down dog. Right leg to the sky on the in-breath and pause in three-legged dog. Look at your right leg. Without turning the pelvis open, rotate the thigh bone outward as much as you can. Okay, so don't turn the pelvis open, just spin the thigh bone outward. Okay, it's called external rotation. Then turn your thigh bone inward without really turning the ankle, by the way. Just keep the right foot flexed and spin the thigh bone in. There's very little movement here in one direction or another if you don't move the pelvis and if you don't move the ankle. Okay, rotate the thigh bone out the best of your ability without opening the pelvis.
And then rotate the thigh bone in without hooking the foot. One more time. Out. In. Now keep the leg internally rotated and lift the leg up as high as you can. Exhale, step right foot forward. Spin the back heel down, and let's bring our front heel and back arch in one line. Walk the hands to the inside of the foot. Okay. The back inner thigh bone lifts up to the sky. As you lift the back inner thigh bone up to the sky, think about the thigh bone spinning inward. So careful not to torque the knee or the ankle. It's really up at the top here where the action happens. It's a little micro movement in the inner groin. Okay, so the femur bone just gently, well, it's not so gentle here, it's gentle here, but up top, there's a spinning in the hip joint internally. So the inner thigh goes back. Now, let's press the front heel down, take a full breath in. Keeping the legs strong, soften the torso, bend the elbows, and bow. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, lift the chest up, press your front heel down, get light in the hips. Exhale, bow. One more round, inhale. Exhale, bow. Walk the hands back to the front of the yoga mat. Down dog as you exhale. Forward to plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga. Now let's take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Slide the hands at the low back so you can better retract your scapula. So move your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your elbows toward one another. Now stretch the hands to the sky. Inhale. Hold here as you exhale. Now let's lift the heart up and the hands up. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe add the feet on. Inhale. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Inhale. Exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Hold. Look at your left thigh. Flex your foot, toes face straight down. Okay, now just flex your left foot. Don't turn the ankle at all or open the hip. Keep the pelvis square to the ground and just spin the thigh bone out. It'll be a minimal amount in this position here. Okay, then spin the thigh bone in the best of your ability without changing the ankle joint or the hips. Keep looking at your thigh. Okay, spin the thigh bone out, externally rotating it. And then spin the thigh bone in, internally rotating. One more round, inhale. Exhale. Lift the leg up as high as you can from the inner thigh. Exhale, step forward. Spin the back heel down. Let's align the front heel bisects the back arch. Okay, from this standpoint here, think about the back inner thigh bone lifting up to the sky. As you do so, press the front heel down. Without torquing the knee joint or the ankle joint of the back leg, try to manipulate. It's very subtle. You're not gonna see any movement, but really in deep at the visualize the core of your right hip bone inside the right hip socket and spiral it in ever so slightly. You can move the hips back a bit as well. Okay, keeping that, let's take a full breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows and bow. 2 more the same way. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Walk the hands back to the front of the mat. Spin the back heel up. Inhale to plank pose. Chaturanga. Slide the hands wide. Come onto your fingertips. Inhale, lift the front body. Bow the front of the body forward. Soften it forward. Okay. Now pull your rib cage through your shoulders and stretch the abdomen up. Keep pressing the low ribs forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the front body. Exhale, soften. Press the rib cage forward. Exhale, release. Come to all fours, hands and knees. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Let's walk slowly to the front of the yoga mat. Have your feet hip width apart. Soften the knees a little bit. We're going to cross the arms and take the hands to the upper inner thighs here. Okay, there's like a little meaty part of the thigh. You're going to place your hands there and press the inner thighs back. Okay, this is the right up by the groins, wherever you're most comfortable, of course, but try to get up high so you can feel the thigh bone right in the hip socket start to almost move. You want to internally rotate the thigh bone by moving at least the skin, and the muscle tissue is getting pushed backwards, so you get a feel for what it's like to internally rotate the thigh bones here. Okay, now keeping that with your hands, now add muscle activity in your legs. So gently start to push the back of your hamstrings away from one another. And that's the initiation, at least from the back legs, of internal rotation. So the back of the legs moving apart initiates the rotation of the front of the legs moving in. Now it's very tricky. We don't want our knees to kind of collapse in as a result. You want to keep your knees facing straight forward and really moving as high up as possible right in the hip socket. So spiraling the inner thighs back, the back of the hamstrings apart, and then you complete that circle by the outer thighs going forward and the the front of the thighs going in. Okay, you can visualize that circle all the way deep in the hip socket. Now release the hands, take an inhale, halfway lift, and start to straighten up the legs the best of your ability. So you can see my legs are still bent, but the calf muscles are vertical, right? So what I'd like you to do, regardless if your knees are straight or not, is to start to think about the hands. Imagine they're in your inner thighs, pressing the upper flesh of your thighs back, the hamstrings away from each other, apart. You're going to feel your outer hips start to awaken, and then gently think about the fronts of the thigh bones drawing inward toward each other without the knees collapsing in. So the knees, the inner knees especially, soft and straight forward. The backs of the legs apart and hamstrings lifted. Okay, now bend the elbows and bow. Let's do two more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Inner thigh bones go back, hamstrings apart. Exhale, bow. One more time. Inner thigh bones press back, the hamstrings move apart, but still lean forward. Exhale, bow. All right, relax the legs. You can rest your chest. Hands behind the back, other pinky on the outside, so interlace your fingers, non-dominant grip, and then stretch the shoulders. All right, hands to the hips, arch the back, rise all the way up.
Tadasana. Let's take a moment. As we move inward towards that transcendent void, shunya, the stillness within, it's not without embracing the momentum, the flow, the energy of everything that is on the outside. In fact, the embrace of both the stillness and the fullness, or the emptiness and the fullness, is the deepest core of ourselves, tends to be the harder layer to touch. So let's go to shunya, the void, and if you find yourself embracing both sides, don't try to come out of that. Stay with both the fullness and the emptiness, of course. Our trajectory is towards the emptiness, or at least highlighting that aspect of our journey, highlight that layer within ourselves, so we can empty out the trash of the mind. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana, forward fold.
Half lift, inhale. Left foot steps back, exhale. Please rise to high lunge, back inner thigh lifted. Hold here, you're gonna bend your left elbow, place it behind your back, and take your right hand on the left elbow. Okay. Start to gently move your shoulder blades toward each other. The way that I do that is pull my elbows away from one another. I try to like pull the arms apart, and the shoulder blades start to move inward toward each other. Then, keeping that, you can press the the left shoulder up towards the sky so you don't compress it at all. Look up, create a little back bend. Let's do one more breath. Release the hands, and let's sweep the arms up on the inhale. Open up, warrior two. Let's get the legs strong, moving. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, bend. Two more, inhale. Exhale. One more. Now 3 times reverse warrior. Keep the breath flowing steady. Inhale, reach the right arm up. We're gonna go to side angle preparation. As you exhale, forearm slowly to the thigh. Left hand goes over the ear. Again, left arm glides you back. Exhale, forearm to the thigh. One more. This time, hands all the way to the ground. Pivot the back heel up, plank pose. Chaturanga. Slide the hands and feet wide. Inhale, lift. Soften. Stretch the belly long. Exhale, release. All fours or plank if you wish. Exhale, down dog. Same side, right leg to the sky. Step forward. High lunge, rise. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the earth, either side of the front foot, listen up. The back heel is going to spin upward. Inhale, step forward, half lift. Inner thighs go back and apart. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, hands to the heart. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Inhale, reach it.
Exhale, bow to the earth. Half lift on the inhale. Right foot steps back, exhale. High lunge, inhale. And as we exhale, we take the right hand, place it on our back. Now the left hand caps the elbow. Legs strong and lifted. Okay, pull your elbows apart to start to move your scapula toward one another, retracting your shoulder blades. Lift your heart up. As you retract the shoulder blades, press the right elbow up into the left hand. So press the right shoulder up towards your ear. Keep the belly lifted, and remember the back thigh is still internally rotating. You'll notice that the back thigh tends to start to rotate out. Keep the back inner thigh pressing up to the sky. Let's do a few breaths. One more breath. Release the arms. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Warrior 2 as you exhale. And straighten through the front leg on the inhale. Exhale, bend. Maybe a little deeper than you normally would. Inhale. Since we're not holding it, you can sustain a little less time, right? Exhale. One more. Three times reverse warrior. Inhale. Side angle preparation, forearm to the thigh, right arm sweeps over the ear. Reverse, slow and steady. Exhale. Reverse, one more time. Exhale, this time hands all the way to the ground. Pivot the back heel up, plank, inhale. Chaturanga. Slide the hands and feet wide, inhale, lift the front body. Soften. Stretch the abdomen, stretch the rib cage up, skull up. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. Let's take one breath in here and remind ourselves of the journey that we're going on. From the outermost to the innermost, to the stillness within. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward. High lunge, rise. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale. Hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up. Step forward, inhale. Half lift. Exhale and bow. I feel like I missed something. Did I miss something on the left side? You can type it into the chat if I did. Did I do side angle yet? Let me know. Inhale. In the meantime, I'll keep going. Rise all the way up to the sun. Hands to the heart. All right, come to chair pose, bend the knees, hands on the thighs. I'll assume I didn't miss anything unless somebody put something in the chat. With the hands on the thighs, you're gonna move your hips back, and then we'll do the same thing we did in Uttanasana. Crisscross the hands, placing them at the upper inner thighs, and press with the hands, press the inner thighs back. And now with the backs of your legs, push outward away from one another so the outer hips engage. Keeping the outer hips engaged, sit a little bit lower. So think about the inner thighs moving back. Think about the backs of the hamstrings moving away from one another. And just right at the upper inner thigh bone, like a spiraling of the femur heads inward. Okay? Now, what you should start to feel is your buttock muscles, your outer buttocks, the back of your buttocks start to ignite, like a warming, toning, a hugging of muscle to the bone. Sit a little bit lower, keep that hugging of the muscle to the bone as your femur heads try to spin inward. And now take the chest and lift it up, and take the arms into a cactus shape. Squeeze your shoulder blades into retraction. That means move them together. Lift the belly up, lift the heart up. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Now, hands to the sun, Urdhva Hastasana. Bow to the earth, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inner thighs back, hamstrings apart. Inhale, half lift. Step the left foot back as you exhale. Okay, this time straighten through the front leg, lengthen through the chest. And just bend the knee, exhale. Same thing, inhale, straighten through the front leg, lengthen through the chest. Exhale, bend. Last one, inhale, straighten through the front leg, lengthen through the chest. Pause, spin the thigh bones in, especially not the front knee, keep the knee straight forward, but the upper inner thigh bone. You can spin your thigh bone without your knee rotating. You have to just kind of think about your shin rotating outward and move more up at the upper thigh, not the inner, like not by the knee, okay? So move your thigh bone up where it meets the pelvis. It's very subtle, but you'll feel some muscles igniting. Now bend the elbows and bow with that internal rotation of the thigh. Let's breathe in here and breathe out. Breathing in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, bend the front knee. Step to down dog, exhale. Forward to plank, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Slide the hands wide, inhale, lift the front body. Soften as you exhale. Stretch the belly long. Exhale, release. All fours or plank. Down dog, exhale. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward as you exhale. High lunge, rise, inhale. Open warrior 2. Reverse warrior, inhale. Side angle, forearm to thigh, hand on the hip. Hips go back, back thigh spins inward. So think about the back hamstring lifting up. You can kind of pull on your pants. Lift the back hamstring up to the sky while the inner thigh goes back. Same idea, the inner thigh back, hamstring lifts up or widen the back of the leg. Now slide the right hand down to the inside of the right foot. Okay, take a breath. Press your front heel down on the exhale to start to initiate a turn of the pelvis and the belly. Now turn the chest. Take your left hand behind your head and press your head straight back. You're welcome to turn the gaze towards the sky if you'd like, or keep it to the side. 2 more breaths. All right, left hand to the hip. Let's take the right hand outside the right foot, but back significantly. Look, turn the back toes in slightly. Look straight down at your front leg and inhale, straighten through the front leg. Bend the knee, exhale. Slow and steady, 2 more, inhale. Exhale. One more. Now, as you exhale, turn the belly, turn the chest to the sky. Press through your feet and take the left hand to the sky. In between the breaths, there can be a stillness, a lingering. The breath you can think of as the storm, the energy, the movement. And the little space between that is kind of delicate, hard to experience. It's very subtle. This is shunya, the void, the nothingness, the emptiness. Sometimes known as Shiva. Okay, bend the right knee, hand to the hip. Both hands to the ground. And what we're going to do is transition to side plank. So turn the outer edge of your left foot to the ground. Right foot's going to come back into a kickstand, or some of you might want to stack the right foot on top of left. Hips forward a little bit as your chest opens. Press the side body up to the sky as high as you can. So nice big side opening. Reach the right arm over your ear the best of your ability. And again, your right foot can be a kickstand in front, or it could even be behind you, just tippy-toeing foot behind you as a kickstand. But arc your body as much as you can. So not a traditional side plank. Create a big bowing. Press the ribs to the sky. Slow unwind. Down, up. Take a full breath in and out. It's in between the breaths where that stillness exists. It's in between the momentum, the movements, the energy that we so obviously see. Everything in the manifest world is considered Shakti. It is the fullness of all there is. And so the mind is trained to experience or witness and process Shakti power. But it is a little bit weak for most of us human beings at witnessing Shiva, the stillness, the transcendent void. Lift the heels, look forward. Empty it out, hop or step to the front. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, bow. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Again, hips back, press the hamstrings away from one another. Lift the belly. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana, forward fold. Backs of the hamstrings apart. Inhale, half lift. Step your right foot back, exhale. Together, we straighten through the front leg, keep the heart lifted. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, heart lifted. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, heart lifted. Now pause. Soften the inner left knee just a little bit, okay? Spiral the upper inner thigh bone on the left side inward, okay? Now the back leg as well. Spin the back thigh bone inward. But now, how do you maintain spinning the upper left thigh bone inward without putting that into the knee? One way of doing it is pressing through the outer edge, let's say the pinky toe mound of your left foot. Keep pressing the pinky toe mound down as your upper left inner thigh presses back. Okay, so the pinky toe presses down, pinky toe mound presses down, while the upper inner thigh bone spirals inward or backward. Okay, so there's a kind of contradicting energy there. And that's really going to help you get deeper in the hip socket. Now bend the elbows and bow over your left leg. The void, the stillness within, the emptiness. You can experience it between your breaths.
That little linger at the bottom of the exhale. A little linger at the top of the inhale. Bend the front knee. Step the down dog as you exhale. Plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga. Slide the hands and feet wide. Inhale, lift the heart. Soften, chest forward. Stretch the belly. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Step forward. High lunge, rise. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Reverse. Side angle. Preparation. Right hand to the hip. Move the groins back. Think of the back inner thigh moving back and the back hamstring lifting up to the sky. Okay? I even think about perhaps pressing the heel specifically of the back leg gently back while spiraling the front of the thigh in. So let's think of the the back shin squeezing in, the back of the hamstring pushing out. Now press your left heel down, spin the pelvis, the back of the pelvis underneath to initiate the turn of the torso. Slide your left hand down and right hand up, maybe even over the ear today. Up to you. Oh, actually, you know what? I had you have hand behind the head, so let's do that. Hand behind the head. All right, and release the right hand to the hip. Turn the left hand down and outside of the left foot, turn the back toes in is what I meant to say. And on the inhale, straighten through the left leg. Let's rebend, exhale. We'll do 2 more warming up the set. Now press down through the heel, turn the belly, turn the chest. Right hand can come to the sky if you like, Trikonasana. All right. Bend the left knee. You're going to take your right hand down, heel toe the left foot over to the left. Come to the outside edge of your right foot. Stack the left foot on top potentially, or keep it out in front, or bring it behind. Either way, bow out to the whole side of the body. Pick your hips up, ribs up, and if you can, stretch the left arm over your ear. A little added bonus is take the top leg, if it's lifted, or if it's on top of your left foot, and turn it inward. So turn the toes and thigh bone downward. Okay, release both hands to the ground, knees to the ground. And we're actually gonna come onto our back, head still at the front of the mat. Just wanna warm up the hamstrings just a wee bit more. Feet wider than hips. Bend the elbows, press the shoulders to the ground. Rib cage pops up. Like cobra, you're gonna move your chest towards your face, hips and knees away. So hips and knees go away from you. Ribs
chest go towards your face, and then the low back presses up to the sky. Let's do it together. Inhale, press the low back to the sky, chest towards your face, knees and hips away from you. Exhale, release back down. 2 more, inhale. Press down through your heels. Exhale. 1 more. Exhale. You get 1 breath. This time we're gonna take it to another level to get the hamstrings fired up. Let's go. Push down into the elbows and shoulders. Hips go up. Now press your left inner heel to the ground and bring your right knee towards your chest. Option to straighten through the right leg. Lift your hips up high by pressing the left heel down. Press the left heel down. 1 more breath. And release slow. If your quads are on fire, it's because you're pushing your feet forward, not down. I want you to get your hamstrings and buttocks fired up. So right heel presses down. Maybe even pull it towards you a little bit. Bring the left knee to the sky. Option to straighten through the left leg. Right heel presses down and pulls towards you. Top leg, if it's straight, is internally rotating. All right, both feet to the ground, 1 even press, feet down, and release. Very cool. Let's take half happy baby. You take your right hand to your right heel, flex the foot, and your left hand, let me see where I'm at visually here. It's probably gonna be best from angle 1. Okay, so your left hand to the knee or thigh, and you spin the thigh externally now. So rotate the knee and foot out, and then you can bring the foot down a little bit, not too deep. A lot of people put the stretch into the low back accidentally. I'd like it to be the hips. So if you go too deep, your tailbone's gonna tuck over mounts, and then you stretch the low back. That's not the goal today. Okay, instead, kick your heel up into your hand, and that will start to warm up the hamstrings. But keep your knee pressing out to the side, so rotating it as much as you can as you kick the heel up. And with your right shoulder, pull it down towards the ground. So you're working on your retraction muscles, called the rhomboids. Okay, and release. Other side. Grab the heel. You could always have a strap around your foot, by the way, if you can't grab the foot. That's normal. Most people can't, so I apologize for not saying that ahead of time. Right hand can help nudge the knee and rotate the thigh out. And then with your left shoulder, pull the shoulder head towards the ground. With the left heel, kick up into the hand. Okay, so you should start to feel, as you do that, you might be able to access your own hip muscles to rotate the knee out to the side. That would be the best, rather than relying on your hand. Okay, you're spinning the left thigh out from the strength of your hip while kicking up into the hand. All right. Roll to your side and come up to a seated position. Let's give this a shot, shall we? So take one leg in, and for most of us, a strap is gonna be really good. I don't have one around. I apologize for that. Oh, I do. Real quick, I'll grab that. So usually making a loop, a big loop, is great for the strap. Take your right foot in like so, and you take your strap, loop it around your foot. Okay, with the strap looped around the foot, take your left hand down and lean over to your right hip. So lean to your right hip, and you see how I have a bent elbow, and I'm gonna be pulling so that, like I'm pulling a bow and arrow. The right hand can go to the ground, usually wide is nice, but you see my right hip, my left hip here is lifted. What's the best angle here? You can see my left hip is off the ground there. This is where you're gonna start, okay? With the left hip off the ground and a nice base of support. Okay, I'm gonna show you from that other angle again. Okay, from this standpoint, you look underneath the window by flipping the palm, okay? And then start to straighten the leg, and I'm gonna give you a key here, just give me a second. And the key is to straighten the leg. Most people try to straighten it forward like this, okay? But instead, keep the knee bent, flip the palm, pull the shoulder. Now, lift your left hip up and turn this leg in so your toes face your face more, okay? And that'll be at least a little more accessible. Probably not possible for everybody, but at least more accessible in the direction of. One thing you gotta remember is that just because you can't do something doesn't mean the attempts aren't doing something for you. You just can't do what like my pose looks like, doesn't mean it's not beneficial to move in the direction of, okay? It's just like anything else. I'm gonna change the angle for us. So the key action is internally rotate the thigh bone. So you can take the strap around your foot, and the key action in the shoulder is go up and back, so pulling muscles. And then once you get into this point, lift your right butt off the ground so you can get your right hand, fingertips to the ground for balance. Some of you might like the foot is nice too, if you have that flexibility. Now, if I just straighten the leg, I'd be stuck. But I try to like open the window, like turn the palm, and turn the leg inward. And when you turn it inward, it's almost like it straightens itself for you. You don't necessarily need to straighten it anymore. And the shoulder is pulling tight here, okay? The shoulder pull is really important so that the leg doesn't pull the shoulder out, you know, not necessarily gonna pull it out of the socket, but we don't wanna be putting pressure on it that way. So most of you, that's gonna be the best here. I'm gonna show you now from, well, let's go from multiple angles, why not? Without the strap, you lean over onto the bent knee, okay? And you grab the foot with the opposite hand, lean into your bent knee, and get the foot up. From this place, you pull your right shoulder blade and shoulder up and back, and that gives you something to kick into. So this foot kicks outward into the hand in order to turn the toes and thigh bone inward as you expand into compass pose. All right, now this was the first peak posture I ever taught in the immersion series. So I wanted to offer it to you today. We're gonna do the other side now. I'm gonna give you another angle. Just because, you know, for me, it's been a year since I've taught this pose. How many classes have I taught in between? It's hilarious that I haven't gotten back to this one. So I'm happy to share it with you as a celebration of 1 year of practicing these immersions together. All right, so here we go. Grab the foot or your strap, whatever you're doing. Lean away from the foot. That's what makes it like accessible to lift it up, and take your right hand out. Now you might also find it helpful to take one hand and the other hand and kind of pull your hip back and kind of maneuver the leg up higher. The hand comes down off to the side, and the idea is the shoulder action up and back gives you something to kick into. Now I rotate my thigh bone inward towards my shoulder, not outward, which will get you all stuck and twisted, but instead you pull the arm Look underneath the window and turn the leg inward. And as you turn it inward, it will naturally straighten if you keep pulling on this leg here. So it's almost like you don't have to straighten it. It'll straighten itself with very little effort if the arm is pulling and the leg is turning. It lands into that position there. And there's our compass pose. I'm just going to do it one more time from this angle here, from something a little bit closer. Pull, look under the window, spin the thigh bone in, and that's how the straightening of the leg happens. From turning the knee, turning the thigh towards the face. All right. Thank you all. Let's take a moment for Shavasana, and then we'll get into our Bhastrika and our meditation. So come to lay on your back. We'll do one happy baby pose, an even posture. And I suggest gently pressing the sacrum and low back towards the ground. If that causes any discomfort or pain, then don't do that. Okay, and release either into constructive rest, which you know is my favorite personally, but if you like, full Shavasana. And now we let go first of the control of the breath. And now the activations of the muscles in the body. We're going to do a reverse body scan. This will lead us into our meditation. First, let your hips, head, and feet be heavy, grounded to the earth. Feel the sensations that surround the skull. Maybe even the third eye center, right between the eyebrows, a little bit above there. There might be a strong sensation, vibration, or nothing at all. No need to judge whether it's there or not. Just observe. Check in with your heartbeat and the sensations around your chest. Now to the hips and the pelvis. Relax the muscles, including the pelvic floor and the deep muscles around the hip joints. Now bring your attention to your feet. Feel sensations in your feet. Bring your awareness now back to your breath. Let's do a round of Dirga Pranayama with a Kumbhakam, which is, again, 3-part breath. The belly rises, the chest rises, the collarbones rise. That's all on the inhale, and on the exhale, the collarbones relax, ribs relax, belly relaxes. And the Kumbhaka is the space, the stillness between the breaths, which I'd like you to take a moment to attend to observe. So together, inhale completely. Exhale. Slowly take one hand on the belly, one hand on your heart. Initiate by breathing into the belly, expanding it. Now breathe into your heart. Keep breathing into your shoulders. Stillness at the top. Exhale, shoulders, chest, belly, stillness. Inhale, belly rises, chest, collarbones, stillness. Exhale, collarbones, chest, belly, stillness. Inhale, belly, chest, shoulders, stillness. Exhale. Without disturbing the peace too much, make your way to a seated position of your choosing. Adjust your posture so that your pelvis is upright. Your low back is in a gentle arch. The upper back is full. A little lift of the shoulders so you can open the collarbones enough that the shoulders can rest upon the back of your rib cage. The ears come back in line with your shoulders and the skull lifts up. Ujjayi breath, that whisper. Bhastrika, again, is the voluntary inhale and exhale, and it's done by moving the abdomen, contraction of the abdominal muscles to exhale, contraction of the diaphragm to inhale. So exhale, belly goes in, belly goes out to inhale. So let's take a breath in. Remember to move from the abdomen. 15 rounds. Stillness at the top of the breath. Exhale. Stillness or emptiness at the bottom. Inhale. Another round, here we go, 15. Stillness at the top. And exhale. Emptiness, stillness at the bottom. Inhale. Last round of 15. Now let the breath go back to involuntary movement. Feel the prana, circulation of energy in your system, vibrating. Now we train the focus of the mind to go inward. We do so by using this mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, We call to the stillness, the emptiness, the transcendent void within all of us, the vacuum of space, the stillness at the eye of the storm. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Now start to take it inward. Practice is the observation of when we lose the mantra, when we lose it. This is the practice of bringing it back. Om Namah Shivaya. A journey to the transcendent void within us, the stillness, the eye of the storm. Can't journey to the center without going through the chaos of it. So Om Namah Shivaya is your anchor to the center as we work our way through the chaos of the mind. Om Namah Shivaya. Anchor yourself to the core, to the stillness within. Catch yourself losing the mantra, just return. Om Namah Shivaya. The wild winds of the mind will continue. The storm doesn't stop, but we can pull our attention now to the awareness that is watching all of it. Move now into that place of observation, witnessing the movement of the mind. Witness, observe. Witness the mantra. Witness the distraction. The noise, the winds of the mind will continue. But place your attention at the center, where it is still, quiet, empty. Go now into the emptiness, the void. stillness. And enjoy it. Emptiness. Let yourself go. Into the stillness. Without disturbing the quiet stillness within. Breathe through the mind. Awaken the fingers and toes. The wrists. Create a little heat in the palms. Hands over the eyes for a breath. Hands over the heart. Take a breath in. Hands over the belly. Massage the legs. Place the hands together. Om Namah Shivaya. We take a moment in honor of this mantra that has been passed down way, 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 way far back. Thanks to all my teachers that have come before me, giving me opportunity to share this now with you. Namaste. All right, everyone, thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure to share with you. Real quick, if you have just a quick moment in the chat, I'd love to hear if there are any postures that you would like to work on. For those of you that are live, just put it in the chat. I'd love to just kind of see where you're at. That way I can be inspired for the rest of the immersion. This is our halfway point, so it'd be great. Now's a good time for requests. And if I can accommodate, I definitely will. Of course, can't make promises for everything, but let's see what happens. So yeah, please throw it up in the chat. Let me know what your requests are for the rest of the immersion. If there's any postures or if there's any questions regarding pranayama, meditation that you want to share, I would love to hear about that right now too. And then also, regardless if you're watching this live or not, you can review these immersions now. I put the option on all the sales pages. So if you go to theyogimat.com/shop and you click on any of the more info buttons, you can go to that particular immersion and then say near the top there's a star review, and then you can put in a comment about what the experience was and what you loved, and that way the other people can know what they can expect. All right. Thanks so much for sharing this beautiful mantra and this wonderful class today with us. Absolutely. Thank you, Petty. Nice to have you here. I'll keep the chat going, but I'm going to stop the video. Thanks so much. Thanks for working on internal rotation. Yeah, nice. Thank you. Meditation was delightful. Glad to hear it. Fantastic. Thanks so much. It was bashing around and I felt like it was middle of it. You felt like you're in the middle of the storm. Yeah, that happens. Get tossed and... Yeah, I'll say I'll make one mention. Bring the video back for a second. So the thing with the void, we're gonna go there again next class. It takes a lot of time to get to that state of, because what has to happen first is you have to burn off all the vrittis, which are the activity of the mind, burn off all the chaos and the mind's got to process, it's got to digest everything. Just like food, if you just ate a whole lot of food and you wanted to feel the emptiness, you have to wait a long time for that food to digest. It's the same thing with the mind. So we got to wait a little while for it to digest. And sometimes that process for each of us is longer than others. So one day for me, it might be quick. The mind is quickly digested. Another day, it might take a long time until I get to that place where I'm in that void. So I just wanted to make sure that I give that to you. We'll continue with the void next time and see if I can give you a little more time for the meditation itself. Thank you, Nina. Appreciate it. I'm glad you liked it. You all have a great Saturday as well. One-legged crow, Marissa. All right. Well, that is a tough one. Maybe not this immersion, but if I can, I will
bring us there. Have a great weekend, Grace. Thank you.